Yesterday, there was a ruling out of the U.S. International Trade Court, which is a court set up to handle international trade disputes, anything involving trade law, things like that. And this three-judge panel, including a Reagan appointee and a Trump appointee, had ruled that Donald Trump had way overstepped presidential power when he used the International Economic Emergency Powers Act to impose these tariffs unilaterally, going as high as 145% against China, because there was no emergency. And they said you can't just say something's an emergency and deal with it. You have to actually prove there has to be an emergency declaration. There has to be a defined emergency situation in order to do this, because per the Constitution, the power for tariffs rests with Congress. Now, Donald Trump and the Trump administration, of course, appealed this decision, which should come as no surprise. I expected them to appeal it. The U.S. Court of Appeals has issued a temporary stay of the lower court's ruling, granting the Trump administration's request, allowing them to continue to use tariffs like he was before, putting the tariffs back on that were temporarily taken back off. And this stay is only going to be in place long enough for this case to go through the U.S. Court of Appeals. Now, that could take several weeks. And we will see how this court case plays out. Now, the granting of a stay should not be taken in any way, shape, or form to determine what the Court of Appeals is going to do with this case. They're just saying, okay, we already had the tariffs on. We're going to allow them to stay on while you appeal this, because they think apparently it would do less harm than keeping them off for a couple of weeks while Donald Trump is still trying to do these negotiations. And then once the case is over, issuing their ruling and then taking them back off. I don't know. We will have to see how it plays out. Like I said, I don't think this is an indication of which way the Court of Appeals is going to rule. Ultimately, this case will end up in front of the U.S. Supreme Court. Now, what'll probably happen is when this case gets finalized, whichever way it is ruled, there will probably be an application to the Supreme Court, and there may be a stay of the appeals court ruling one way or the other, as it plays out. We will have to just wait and see. But the tariffs look like they're back on. Donald Trump got a small victory with this stay. He's going to probably try to blow it up as a bigger win than it really is, that the lower court was wrong. That doesn't mean that they were wrong. It just means that the court wants to leave it in place while it plays out through the appeal process.